tiny gizmo and I can't get it moved. That's how it comes.
There we go.
Jimmy Steele comes on there.
So let us introduce Jimmy Roddy first. Jimmy, we're so glad you're with us this morning. You're representing the Ministerial Alliance. Is that correct? I thought we were going to be talking about taxes. Y'all are all in there gung-ho with taxes. I thought it was going to be
that's off there stuff, me and Mr. Steele. It is.
I can't repeat what I heard you say.
No, you better not. But you're pastor of 2 churches, am I correct?
That's correct.
And so what are the 2 churches that you're pastor of here, Brother Jimmy?
Well, I'm pastor of the Kempti Methodist Church, which is a little country church off of Highway 414. And I'm also pastor of St. Mark's Methodist Church at Arcadia and Hurst Street.
Right, that takes a lot of energy. Now, doing 2 things, walking and chewing bubble gum at the same time has been a real feat in my life that I've never really accomplished. But that is a great responsibility to take care of 2 congregations. It really is, both Jimmy and...
Well, it's kind of like teaching 2 classes, though. You're teaching the same class, so you can just do 1 lesson plan.
Yes, but if you're in school, you're usually in the same classroom. Sunday is always a little bit of an adventure getting from one place to the other.
I bet it is. But the thing is, you preachers get the Sunday off. That's a day of rest, isn't it? But Jimmy, I know for you, I bet it's stretching even more than a week, isn't it?
So you do preach both services on Sunday at the 2 churches?
2 churches. I meet at Kempti. We have church there at 10 and at St. Mark's at 11.
An amazing thing is happening, and Brother Jimmy's with us this morning, is the fact that an amazing thing is happening this time of year. I can't believe it's already near Thanksgiving, for one thing. And at the time of year, Thanksgiving, then Christmas, another month and a half or so. And it's just amazing how time flies. But an event occurs about Thanksgiving time each year that we all always try to help and encourage and want everybody to be a part of. And that's why Brother Jimmy is here this morning. And Shirley, why don't you tell us what it is? I'm just sitting here babbling on what visit Thanksgiving time.
Well, since I'm not real sure what we're going to be talking about.
We're talking about the Thanksgiving offering we take each year to help the needy that come through the streets. And this is sponsored by the Ministerial Alliance.
Yes, sir.
And you're a part of that Ministerial Alliance, are you not?
Yes, I am. I'm part of it.
We have quite a few churches involved in the ministry. Well, Brian was talking about this amazing thing, so I really thought there was something I
That's with kids in the house, it's already, Daddy, it's turkey time.
A community Thanksgiving service.
That's exactly, that's what the program, welcome to Coffee Shop. Let's start
I got confused because I thought we were going to be talking about taxes this morning. Well, we do have our community Thanksgiving service, and it's a great time for our community to come together and worship. Where is our community service going to be held this year?
Okay, this year it will be at the First Methodist Church on, what is that, Church Street, I think it is.
Yeah, down there at Church.
6 p.m. next Sunday night.
Okay, so not tonight, folks, but a week from tonight.
Week from tonight.
Okay.
Who's going to be doing the services there? It's going to be a conglomeration of ministers, actually.
There will be several ministers involved in the service, and Dr. Wesley Welburn, who is the pastor of the First Methodist Church, will be bringing the message.
I like the way y'all always get the new man on the totem pole. But it's a good time, though, for him to be introduced to the community. And it kind of works out that way. It seems like we have someone new that we can use and let the community get to know them.
And we always kind of wonder about these new preachers. I know Brother Jimmy does, but he was confirmed, I believe, to the community when he agreed he joined the Lions Club too, didn't he?
Oh, yes.
Yes, and that he was all right when he did that.
He was confirmed to the community.
Well, minds, whatever.
That's only significant to Lions Club members.
Is it? Yes, right. But we have the offering that is taken each Thanksgiving provides a full year of the financing. And explain to us where that offering goes, Brother Jenny.
Well, we hope that it provides a full year. Of course, that's what it has to do, but I think on occasion we run out.
Well, not since I've been involved in the Ministerial Alliance, which hasn't been that long. But there are people who pass through town for various reasons and run out of money or need a place to stay or need a meal or whatever. And the Ministerial Alliance provides just a very limited amount of service to those people. They're screened by people at the police department. And we provide, where it's needed, a bus ticket to another city sometimes a meal, sometimes a room for the night in one of the little local motels. And even with the money that we collect, we don't have that much. I mean, we don't get that much. There's a lot more need than there is money to distribute.
Okay. While our other guest is making his appearance here, come in. Just clip Brother Kenneth that microphone you tie there. Welcome, Brother Kenneth Verner here. We're glad to have you here this morning.
Sorry to be late.
I know that.
It's very obvious, doesn't it?
Name of my game, I think.
Well, Brother Jimmy was just sharing with us about the Ministerial Alliance and the Thanksgiving offering this year, and we appreciate you joining us. Of course, we were just talking about, and he was sharing with us that the money's always there, but it just seems like if we had more, we might could do a little bit more. And we're trying to encourage folks this morning to be a part of this Thanksgiving offering, let them know what it is, and but they do need to participate.
Right. What's interesting is when we have more projects that's pre-planned, people call us and let us know we have some things that need to be done. We always have a lot more to be done, and a lot to be. We can do it. It just really comes together when people call in ahead of time.
All right. Well, Jimmy, how does it work as far as working with the police department? For years, we've been doing this as a Ministerial Alliance for several years. And how does it seem to work as far as, there's so much abuse to the churches, people that come through and try to abuse the privilege that we all want to help the needy. But has this system worked in the past? Are we comfortable with the way it works?
Well, I would say, I guess it works pretty well. If the people go to the police department, they're not going to be coming around so much, at least to the various churches. So they are in a position, I think they're probably pretty good judge of people over there. They deal with a lot of people and probably can recognize the need even better than most of us maybe. And it's not to intimidate people or anything like that. That's just kind of a central point. And if we can refer people to them, why, that takes that burden away from the local churches.
Well, of course, it's someplace that's open night and day.
Mm-hmm.
And if someone comes in late at night, and I'm sure that happens on occasion, then they can get in contact. And people in town probably have learned that since Wayne mentioned we've been doing that for some years. Right. Probably most anybody in town, if someone comes through and is having a problem, they know to refer them to the police.
We've probably done it about 16 years, I would imagine, maybe 17.
Tell people, again, kind of explain to us in a nutshell, a little summary, what it is, so they'll know that they need to start contributing, those that are not aware of this, so we can encourage them.
I think most people probably listening will have a general idea of what we're doing. The Ministerial Alliance meets with a group of ministers in the community, and we have varying memberships. It's a volunteer thing, of course, and everybody's welcome. And out of this group, we have people that come together for our community Thanksgiving service. And in this service, we take an offering. And in this offering is for the transients that come through town that need a helping hand. Sometimes they've had some bad luck, and of course sometimes there's people that do this for a way to travel. But most of the people we would like to feel are in need because of circumstances beyond their control. And so we come together, we receive this offering, and this offering goes into a fund which the Ministerial Alliance administers. And then we have the people at the police station to receive the recipients. Now, I hasten to say that sometimes we ministers have calls and we have to get together and decide what we must do before, they may not get to go to the police station. It may be something that we have to do beforehand, or maybe they can't get somebody at that time. So this happens, and it still goes through the same fund, the same hands, and everybody's not duplicating one another. That's the main thing. Keep duplication from taking place. And if a person's traveling and really needs help, we can help them to the next place, or sometimes to their next destination. But we've got a limited amount we give, and that's for one meal or one night's lodging, or a meal and gasoline for the next town. And
have you ever gotten responses back from anyone that's been helped? And of course, I know that's not important because, hopefully
let
we're
me
planting a
think.
seed. Hopefully we're planting a seed, and it's not something that we expect a response from, but I just wondered, occasionally we'll see an article in the newspaper that somebody has been through town and they write back and thank people for helping them for the different reasons, a flat tire, whatever.
Well, in all the 30 years of my ministry, I'll just go beyond what we do here. I've had one response. And the fellow, I was on the pasture on the coast, and the fellow came by and we helped him, and he sent me a money order back for the church and a thank you note. And that's one out of,
Well, like I said, we're not doing it for the praise or the thank yous or anything like that, but we do hope that a seed will be planted, that we're doing it because we are children of the Lord and that we've received so much that we want to help someone else.
I must hasten to say this, though, that some other people in the community have been very good at Samaritan work, and I think I'm looking at one of them. And so we want to, pass a few roses along. Thank you for what you've done for others. And it came to our attention, and we were trying to work something out, and you'd already done it. Thank you.
Well, that's an outreach of our church that we do here. We have a Mission Action Ministry, I suppose is what you're talking about, that Wayne's have been involved in. It's most all of our church members have been involved in, and we have not tied it to our church.
Let's make a distinction there. The ministries of the individual churches, what this does allow also is for us to maybe be able to assist our members who are in need.
Right.
And it's not that the churches have given up the position of helping the needy.
Right.
And I think that's a lot of times what if we don't say that, people misunderstand that we've thrown off on the police department so that us churches can refuse the needy. And that's not the case.
I'm glad you brought that up.
I suspect that a number of the local churches are helping their own members or local people in the community.
Because we are referring to transits that are just coming through.
The Ministerial Alliance mostly is to help transients.
Well, let's say that the community Thanksgiving service, that offering, because I know that y'all reach out and do other things in the community besides just the transit. You're ministering to the needs of the community also. Christmas in April for any number of years has been sponsored by the Ministerial Alliance, and been lots of things that have been helped. Not only physical needs, but I think healing needs in the community sometimes have been met. I've heard testimonies of that. Differences in cultures, that when the whites go down in the black community and do something, it has kind of done a healing power there. And so we can point to that as something that has been really good. So not only are you dealing with transit, as Wayne's pointed out, that not only do we try to meet the transit needs, we want to meet our own church members' needs and those of the community.
True.
So we're thankful for that we do have groups that meet in town. One of the things I think that a lot of people probably wonder about, do you have, what congregations are in the organization? What faiths?
Well, I hesitate to name, but last week we had what do we have, 8 congregations represented in our meeting.
There.
About 8 congregations represented in our meeting last week. And we have had in our community efforts for revival, I think we had as high as 20-something of our, it's nearly 30, I suppose, at that time, and of the Shelby County area. And we have a working relationship even with these other people that are not able to come for one reason or the other. And like I said, it's an open meeting. We do not necessarily agree with one another in the details, but in our general thrust of being a good Samaritan, helping our neighbors for the good of the community, I would say that most of our churches in the community are in agreement. I really think that's a true
So we're not
statement.
exclusive. We don't include or exclude anyone in any church.
We've got all races. We've had everything from one extreme to the other as far as doctrinal areas and persuasions. So it's wide open, and we don't talk doctrine. And when we come together, we talk about some of the common problems. If a fellow's pastoring in whatever church, he has needs, and he needs someone to share those needs with, and we offer that format and a chance just to visit. And if you see one of your fellow pastors at a funeral, he's not a stranger, And if you meet him on the street, well, how did church go Sunday? And you sort of go from there,
So y'all not only are ministering to the community, you minister to each other.
Well, originally Ministerial Alliance was for ministering to one another. That's the primary reason for us coming together.
Your pastor ministers to you. Your pastors minister to you on your church.
Right.
But there isn't anybody to pastor the pastors,
Mm-hmm.
unless it's a district pastor or something to that effect.
And then there's such a limited amount of time that you can be with them. How often do y'all meet?
Once a month.
Once a month.
We would love for some more of the pastors in the community to be involved with it.
So this could be an open invitation for them for you to announce your next meeting that will be such and such, and you're invited.
Okay, say somebody out there listening today that wants to mention to their pastor that, hey, you might consider the Ministerial Alliance, or a pastor might be listening. Or somebody might be interested in making a donation to the work of the Christmas in April or the Thanksgiving Fund to help the indigents. Where would they call? Where to get the information or to send some money?
Brother Jimmy Steele is our treasurer this year, and he's done an excellent job. And you want to give them any kind of address or box number?
If they just want to make a contribution, send it to Post Office Box 304
Okay, 304.
in Center.
Care
Okay.
of the Ministerial Alliance.
Care of the Ministerial Alliance.
Okay.
If they want to talk to us, I'm listed in the phone book, so is Kenneth.
Right, any of the pastors.
Any of the pastors here at this church or the Methodist Church, or a bunch of others.
Sure.
And where do y'all meet? Do you change it?
We meet around at the different churches in the community where the pastors are
Let's
active.
see, we're going to meet, December the 8th, wasn't it?
Well, second Tuesday in
Second
December, whatever that
Tuesday in
is.
December at 10 o'clock. We're going to be at the Nazarene Church this next time.
Okay. So it's always the second Tuesday?
Usually.
Unless we
Usually.
change it
Unless
for some
something's
special occasion.
Okay. So if they're thinking about coming, they should still call in advance just in case, just to be sure, because you might have changed it because of not this
This
next
time there
meeting.
won't be a change, but then we'll meet in January. We don't know,
So y'all will set that at the December meeting.
Right.
You'll talk about the time and the.
We try to publicize it, but sometimes it doesn't get to the paper, or sometimes we don't get to the radio with it, but we try.
Okay, to emphasize next week, back to Thanksgiving service, if there are church members or pastors out there that may not be aware of how it operates and would like to start participating with Thanksgiving service, the voluntarily different congregations meet together on that night
Right.
and do not have their individual services and come together as a community-wide service at the First Methodist Church next Sunday evening. Am I
6
correct?
o'clock.
6 o'clock. If there are congregations out there that maybe they weren't aware or would be interested, they might talk with their pastor today, and then they could give you a call and are their pastor and would love to participate, and they are welcome, are they not?
Right, definitely welcome. It'd be even better if they call First Methodist Church, because they're in charge of the program.
Okay.
And they're doing the programming, and it's so nice just to be a visitor, and be a part. And they're in charge this year. Now, last year, I think First Baptist had charge of the music, and we had, I forgot who spoke now, but anyway, maybe you remember.
Urban?
Yeah, Brother Urban over at Hillcrest. And we just be glad to have anybody. Another thing, though, there's some churches that do not come to the service, but they do take an offering at their own church, and they contribute that offering. So I would not limit anyone to just being there that wanted to give to this program. And it really works out well, because almost every church has someone coming by periodically that needs help. And by having this central fund and this central location, it takes a lot of the problem and the burden, I think it's been mentioned, from their shoulders. Mm-hmm. And if they want to contribute, there's no maximum and no minimum. And we'll be glad to receive the offering if they do not or are not able to dismiss their service and be a part of us.
Okay, just so people know how the account is taken care of, who takes care of the application for distributing this money, and how is it, I don't go into this sort of details, but just it is responsibly watched over by the Ministerial Alliance, is the point I'm trying to make.
All right, we watch over it. Brother Steele is the treasurer, and he writes the checks. We have a voucher system. The police department will give the recipient a voucher, and they will go to a service station or to a grocery store or to a motel, whichever the case may be, sometimes a bus station, and then we will pay it in the next few days, And the merchants have been, really agreeable and working with us.
It isn't just a a blank voucher. I mean, it is to meet the specific need of that person, whatever the need is, whether it's a room or a meal or whatever. That is what the voucher is for.
Right. Yeah, this is a really good system. Are there other communities that do this? Because I've always been really impressed. For years we've been doing this, and it seems to work real well, for the community. And it's such a good program that involves the police department, and we've always had good police. Let's commend them, because it's voluntary work on their part.
I might say that Lieutenant Ed Roberts deserves a lot of the credit, because he was the man primarily in charge, and now he's enlisted some of the assistance of some of the other officers, and we really thank them for what they're doing. Really do.
I know of one other place that has this system. There may be many, I don't know.
Right. I've heard of several that have similar type programs. I think ours works as well, if not better than most.
That's great. The Thanksgiving program next week, there'll be, of course, the message we delivered by the new pastor. I call him the new pastor. He's been here a while. It still has been 6 months. 6 months. He's a fine gentleman. I think people would enjoy it if they haven't met him. It'd be a great opportunity to come over there and meet him. And plus, just for the community to share together as a spiritual gathering. I think it's very, very good for a community in this day and age to get together. If you don't have the money to give, then, it's not a let's get the money drive. It's a meeting together Thanksgiving service above and beyond all, is it not?
It is a worship service.
Right.
It's always been really nice, just get together and liaise with the pastor that gets before all the other preachers. He gets up and gets a little nervous to start with, but he usually levels off and does well.
Well, all those pastors they're praying for him, shouldn't be any problem.
Y'all try something.
It's intimidating.
I'm sure it is. I'm saying, but your battle there could be half won. Pastors
Putting scorecards out, A, B, C. They got these flashcards, 5 and 10.
Well, I'm sure it is, because it's always when you're in front of your peers that you feel that sort of intimidation. But it is good to get to hear the different pastors, because if you're in your church every Sunday, you don't get to hear the other pastors.
The other thing, we have a mixture in the music. We have different groups coming in to sing, and I'm not real sure what all we have planned this time, but we've got several different singing groups, I think, that's scheduled to be there. And this always is enjoyable. I know Wayne likes that. So.
Yeah. Wayne may be up there singing.
He may be.
Not this time.
You're not scheduled as you know of yet.
Well, let me ask you, I always, I'm proud to be here in Shelby County in East Texas, and one reason is we are a good Bible Belt part of the country. And is it good as a Ministerial Alliance, as a group of pastors, individually as pastor, just this kind of off-the-cuff question, do we feel that we still have how thankful should we be as you talk with other pastors away from here in areas that may have less acceptance of religion and experience? Part of our coming together at Thanksgiving, I'm thankful to live in an area that does not embarrass itself by saying we believe in God. Do you feel that is part of the Thanksgiving ceremony that we enjoy as a group of religious people, even though we don't agree theologically?
What do you say? We have a good area here. We have a good country here. Mm-hmm. I'm proud to be part of it. We do have a lot of sincere people here. And maybe more than our share. I hope more than our share.
Wayne and I are always from Shelby County. It's hard for us to gauge anything. We just think, well, this is the way it is other places. And sometimes we're shocked when someone lives away and comes into our area and says, this is the way it was there.
I think there is, we must face the fact that there is somewhat of a change taking place in that people are not, quote, Christian. We still got our share plus, I think, but we still have some that are beginning to be more reclusive. They've moved to Shelby County to get away from whatever obligations they used to have, and that kind of a person is more difficult. And some of the people that's been, you might say, reared in our atmosphere there's a sense of rebellion. But outside of those two areas, I feel like that we still have a broad base from which to draw support and strength and to see growth. And that seems to be dominant more than the other. In some areas, the other has become more dominant. I think we're reading a lot about that in other places. I will say this, I got to brag about Shelby County just a little bit. Our Thanksgiving service is far better participation than it is in some other counties, I found out. And I was pleasantly surprised and shocked, that larger counties are having less people for these kinds of services. We're having a lot more people to come and participate, even though there's a smaller drawing area. And I was really surprised. I thought we weren't doing quite as good as we should. And then I get to checking around, and other people that are trying to have these things are not doing near as well as we are. Yeah. And so that made me feel a little better about it.
Right. What about the idea that I know I lost my thought. I asked the question, Shirley.
You transmitted it all to me. Well, it's really good to know that, because I think we always use the measuring stick that we want to be better, and we don't want to stop just because we think, well, we're doing better than another county. Do you think that's because we're such a rural area and the community is still so open without as many? Of course, I understand what you're saying, that there's a lot of people have moved in and have changed the clientele.
I think some of that may be, but I think also we have a more openness among the ministers. I think there is a freedom here where we can work together in this thing. I think that people come together because they feel needed. They feel that the government's not doing it. They feel that it's some of their responsibility. And they actually just kind of want to get together, I think all those factors, it's kind of difficult to isolate the whys, because I just became aware that we were doing as well as we were just a few months ago.
Well, don't you think that that's what's happened to our communities, the breakdown in the family in years past, is that we've depended on the government to take care of the situation?
Right.
And that's when we have the huge welfare rolls and the illegitimacy that we have, is because the church has not followed up to the responsibility that we were given to take care of our brother in those instances.
It had a definite impact, Yeah.
Well, listen, we want to again this morning invite the folks next Sunday to attend the Thanksgiving service at the First Methodist Church, 6 o'clock next Sunday evening, not this Sunday evening.
This
Sunday evening we have another event here at our home church. And now we go to plug our thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
And we hope that you all will come. It's just beautiful if you haven't seen or heard it. It's our sanctuary choir is going to present Alleluia. It's at 6 o'clock tonight in our sanctuary. I'm sure the nursery will be open for children.
It's our Thanksgiving musical, and the choir has prepared, done a lot of work. It's a beautiful musical, and we invite everyone to come. Whoever wants to come, our doors are open at 6 o'clock. It'll start, so get here about 15 till.
That's right.
Participate.
And there may be standing room only.
That's right. And I like to stand.
And we really appreciate you ministers coming out, and especially Brother Steele. We've already talked about him coming, and he's got 2 church services.
Yeah,
lazy preacher.
He got work to do. Right.
Well, we really appreciate it, and we would take this means to invite all the ministers in the community to become involved with our Ministerial Alliance, because I think it could have a healing effect on our community in more ways than one.
Well,
thank y'all for coming and sharing with us.
Thank you for having us.
We really thank you for letting us come and share.
Thank you. We'd invite you now to stay tuned for our men's Bible class and afterwards for our church services. And hopefully Wayne will be back with us for the coffee shop next Sunday.